Good afternoon, YouTube. It is Thursday, it's my day off finally, and right now I am in full prep to get this thing down on the ground and moving under its own power in the next 24 hours. So here's the thing. During last week, you guys saw that I picked up the bumper, so I got the rear bumper here. I did end up bolting back on the VMS diffuser, so I'm happy about that. Came out great. The first time I put this on, the paint cracked all over the place, so now it's all good. I got my two bumpers right here, and what I've been needing to do is all the clearancing back here for the transmission cooler. It's pretty tight with how the bumper fits, and I actually have to trim this bumper in this area to make it clear, because this bumper has never been fitted on the car. So this one is the old bumper that has. So I got I put the headlights in. They're not bolt. The housings aren't bolted, but the body, the plates are. So I just made sure everything was flush. And this is like the first time that I'm really paying attention to the car, like with the body panels it's gonna have. You know, it's got the rear flares and it's got the narrow front. So it's gonna be a long time for me to get used to this. This car has had front fender flares since 2011, and I ran it like that from 2011 to 2013, and then I did the carbon fenders. So I had carbon fenders on it for 3 years. So it's just, I am really digging it, to be honest though. It's weird, but I like it a lot. So basically what's going on right now is, I mean, I still got bedhead, you could tell. So what's going on now is I actually have an alignment scheduled tomorrow at 2 p.m. So exactly 24 hours from now, this car is going to be, funny enough, I'm getting an alignment done at Chevy. One of my friends, Ryan Hammer, he's a tech there, and they have an in-ground rack, so it'll be easy to service the car, and I mean, I know he's good, like good quality work. So this week, you know, I've been tidying up some little things. I've gone through the interior. You can see there's a loom on the the passenger side. See that wire loom coming across. So everything going to the rear of the car got bundled up and tied up. You know, I've just been going through, cleaning everything out. And like I said, I have my air shifter line. I did get the air shifter in today, so we'll be installing that shortly. You can see I got the torque wrench out. I didn't even tie in or torque the subframe bolts. So I'm glad I'm going through and checking everything. I torqued the subframe front and rear, 100 foot-pounds on the big bolts. 40 on the little ones, and then I got all my wiring underneath the car done for the trans brake. So let's go take a look underneath. Yeah, I got everything bundled up. All the hoses for the fuel lines and the coolant lines, they're all zip tied up in place. So we're I do need to get back under here one day and just paint some stuff, but honestly, as of right now, that's not any sort of a priority. So today what I need to do is I have to put in the little harness for my little fuel tech switch panel. The carpet's going in today. Oh, and one thing bad. Last week you saw that I did the brake lines, I bled them. Miggy came over the house a couple days ago and he helped me finish bleed everything. It was fine, it held pressure. I was working on the car yesterday before I went to work, and pedal went straight to the floor, and it looked like the back of the master cylinder was wet. So back behind the seal, god damn it. Back behind the seal, I saw brake fluid. So I'm hoping it's the master cylinder that failed. Actually, the first time in my entire life, I overnighted a master cylinder from Summit. Being the fact that I've never actually driven this car, I'm not comfortable with it. I definitely want to have a working foot brake if it's going to leave the garage under its own power. So that is definitely preferred. So I do have the master cylinder sitting inside. So I have to get that back in the car, re-bleed the whole cooling system, and pray to God that that's the issue. If not, then I gotta figure out what the heck the problem is. So unfortunately, there's you know, the pistons could be leaking. So it's what, 2 pistons. And then between these two, there's 12 pistons. So that could be 14 pistons that are leaking. I don't know. I don't see, there was not a single drop of fluid down, but it somehow was getting air in the system. So I'm hoping it's the master cylinder. So I will guess I will know in a very short amount of time. If it happens to be a proportion valve, I know there's a local shop that has it in stock. Unfortunately, I couldn't get anyone to get this master cylinder in stock. That's why I had to buy it from Summit. So anyway, I gotta get the master cylinder in, tighten all that stuff down, and then start chipping away the interior. As far as I know, everything suspension wise and everything else is good to go to drop the car on the ground. So that will be definitely happening soon. And then I'm gonna have to get the car running again today, or not get it, I have to fire it up. That way I could bleed the cooling system again, and then that should be it. So today is gonna be a lot of cool progress. And then hopefully today also, the rear bumper and the finish panel will be on. And then once I bleed the cooling system, the trunk's only 4 screws, so that's not a big deal. So let's get working. It's been a short time and I've honestly been busting ass. So as you can see here, I did get the air shifter hooked up. I ran the pressure line and then I readjusted over there. I put a Y fitting instead of a T, so that's all good up there. I just put the master cylinder in. I just have the bag down so in case fluid drops down. But so master cylinder's on. I just pumped it. And I'm gonna try to get a hold of somebody to come bleed it with me because I don't have the tool. I gave the tool back to Miggy. And then look what we have here. So my understanding, I could be totally wrong, but if I remember correctly, this came out of like a Mazda Speed Miata. I picked the carpet up from Redline Autosport in Orlando, Florida. And I mean, it is super, super, super minty. So I cannot wait to cut this up for the roll bar stuff. Like I just did this, I just had to cut out this square because right on top of the transmission tunnel is where I have the brake stuff. So, yep, definitely some trimming required in that aspect. You know, I got to cut out the spots for the harnesses in the back. I got to cut out the the harnesses in the back, the front part, and then because that right there, there's a metal piece right here. That's where the seat bolt's on. So I gotta make sure all that stuff's trimmed out and whatnot. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. Like, just the difference in appearance from this look right here to when I put carpet in it is gonna be like insane. Alrighty, so the whole interior, I removed all the bullshit out. I removed the shifter. I just removed everything. And I just vacuumed the floor. So as you can see here, we are ready to put down the carpet. And then I just removed as much of the sound deadening bullshit off the back. I don't need it, I don't care for it, and it also slightly reduces the fire hazard. So let's go ahead and put this carpet in.
And I am enjoying this beautiful day. Like, it's actually decent weather to work on the car. So as you see now, I got the carpet in. I didn't film it, but I did put the new parachute cable in. You can kind of see the cable right there. And then obviously now we'll have to put the chute pack on the car because it's a little too long. So they're universal sized, so I already know it's a trim to fit. But I got both of the seats in, bolted down, the harnesses passed through. Man, she is starting to look like a damn car again. So I got my CO2 line kind of zip tied to here. My buddy Graylin kind of gave me a good idea as far as advice and the consideration of, I was going to route this under the carpet, like nice and clean. He goes, but the problem is, Matt, if you need to service it, you can't get to it. So I know it's not appealing to the eye, but I mean, this is a more function over form build. So having this accessible, if I need to replace or repair it, it's good to have. So right now, I'm gonna keep working on the back. I need to bolt down the parachute mount. The 4 bolts are kind of just in there, so I gotta tighten all of them. And then we'll go ahead and situate the bumper cover, and then we'll start working on the finish panel. Problem is with the finish panel is I have to solder these 2 wires onto the battery kill switch, and I don't own a soldering iron because I am very against soldering on vehicles. This car does not have a single drop of solder besides like the circuit board and switches, but that's not something I did. Everything on this car is crimped, and that's a lot better for longevity. So we're chugging away. We are definitely chugging away. Woohoo, look at this, guys. Got the back of the car on. Woohoo! I just wired up the EPO switch. So this is basically my battery kill. You push it in to shut it off. You twist it to release. You got the finish panel bolted in. It's held in by 4 screws there. And then there's one very pain in the ass one right there where my finger's at. Basically connects the lower part to the body. So that's good. I was about to put on the over fenders, but I found out that the side marker lights right here, I don't have this retainer to screw it into the bumper. So I will have to go to Ace tomorrow and grab a nut and bolt. So I'm basically going through everything right now just to make sure the car can go on the ground. This front fender is tightened all the way. I gotta do the other one. Everything under the car is zip tied. The master cylinder's in. Austin was just over and we bled everything. So the pedal's feeling great now. I'll go ahead and check it again now. As long as it doesn't go straight to the floor. Yeah, it feels, gosh darn it, I just spilled brake fluid everywhere. She's a squirter. Definitely a squirter. But the pedal feels a lot better. So I am pretty confident that's what it was. So now the key to saving your paint is wipe off brake fluid immediately with a wet rag. And the wet rag, the water, I don't know what the hell happens, but the water like dilutes the brake fluid or whatever it is. So as long as you get it off immediately, you don't gotta worry about anything. So anyway, so basically right now, like I said, I'm tying up all the loose ends. I'm probably not gonna bring it tomorrow with the front bumper on. But as far as the body wise, it's pretty much done. The bumper was a pain in the butt. The taillight panel, I just fought for about an hour to get those 2 stupid bolts in on the side. I do need to make sure all the parachute mount bolts are tight. That way I can just stop worrying about the back of the car. So yeah, right now I'm just going through everything. My goal tonight, I would really like to put the wheels on the car and put the car on the ground. That way I know if I need to make any ride height adjustments before I take it for the alignment tomorrow. So I'm not too far off. I'm pretty sure the front end's gonna be raised up at least an inch. So I am happy about that. I need to raise the car up because the car was sitting too low before and I didn't like it. So I gotta take all the mess out from underneath the car. We going. She is coming along. Oh, and I just put these in. I just had to chase, I just had to chase the threads with a tap and die, make sure all the paint was out of it, but those are back in, so getting there. We getting there. All right, the final once over is complete. I'm gonna put the wheels on the car now and put the car on the ground. So in the past couple of hours, I'm tired. Past couple of hours, I finished putting all the bolts in the parachute mount. I put the bumper on, the finish panel. I just got done putting on the parachute mount. The bolt's kind of loose right now, but I have the cable holder, and then I trimmed the cable a little bit. It'll be final adjusted tomorrow when I have the pack and everything in it. I zip tied up all the stuff underneath the car. I removed all the junk back here, all back here. Definitely tomorrow she's gonna get a little bath because all these disrespectful spiders are trying to make home in here. So I just checked the brakes again, and the brakes are holding pressure, so I think we are good. So yeah, I just finished bolting that fender on completely. The bolts on the bottom and in the middle. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and lower it down. I'm going to put them on the dollies. That way it's also going to be easier to maneuver the car tomorrow. But this is looking insane. I am so happy with this car. And just like that, my night is officially winding down. The car's on the ground. I definitely have a problem with ride height right here. So that will be raised up until I have at least a 2-finger wheel gap. I don't want to sit there and risk the fender getting destroyed, and I want the ride height now since the engine and the transmission pans hang lower. The only thing I am worried about is this fender right here is not rolled. So yeah, that's got to be addressed too later on, but she is on the ground. It's weird. It's so weird. But man, does she have a good look to her. Anyway, I gotta wake up decently early in the morning. I definitely have to raise up the car. I gotta make a trip to Ace Hardware to get screws to hold in the rear lights on the back bumper. Other than that, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up putting the dash. As long as the brakes feel good when I wake up in the morning, I'll check it again. If the brakes feel good, then I will probably put the dash in. A little teaser of what's coming tomorrow. I told you the car's getting alignment, but tomorrow night we're putting the car on the scales at Brian's house. So if you watch this video, I want you to guess how much do you think the car is gonna weigh. Before this swap with the 4-cylinder, with me in the car with a full tank of fuel, the car weighed 2,352 pounds. Now obviously now I have a cast iron V8, I have a built automatic transmission, so I mean there is more weight in the car. Now when I weigh the car, it's not gonna have the bumper on, it's not gonna have the cowl. Other than that, the car will be pretty complete. So, oh yeah. And as you know, I put my little trailer hitch ball back on because you already got to know we're doing drag week this year. But man, she is looking good. I love these wheels. These wheels came out great. So anyway, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to bed. Actually, I'm going to edit this video and then I'm going to bed. So stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm excited.